It's no surprise to anyone watching the NFL this past season that the New York Giants had an abysmal offensive showing and one of the worst seasons in terms of offensive production this franchise has seen in quite some time. A lot of the contributing factors include the lack of creative offensive play calling, poor offensive line play, and the various injuries that plagued the Giants' offensive personnel all season long. This offseason, Joe Schoen and Wan'Dale have made it a priority and a mission to bring in experienced players to help boost the offensive line and help give Daniel Jones his best chance to succeed in his make-or-break year with the franchise. While offensive line is definitely a spot we expect to see improvements for the Giants offense, the group that truly has a lot of pressure to perform throughout the season this upcoming year is the receiving core of this team. When you look at the depth chart at wide receiver for the New York Giants, there is honestly a lot of talent and untapped potential that has not been really utilized since Pat Shurmur was the head coach of the Giants. Today, we'll be looking at the wide receivers for the New York Giants, and I'll be explaining why this is one of the most underrated wide receiving cores in the entire NFL. What's good, football fans everywhere? It's your boy Ty Life back with another Giants video, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to help support the channel so I can bring you more Giants content throughout this upcoming season. And don't forget to leave a like to help other Giants fans and NFL fans reach this channel to help bring them more NFL content throughout the season. Now, without further delay, let's get right into it, homies. The biggest and most expensive wide receiver acquisition of the 2020 offseason was the signing of Kenny Golladay. This move received mostly positive reviews from Giants fans prior to the season, as we expected Golladay to be that one-on-one, 50-50 deep ball threat the Giants haven't really had since Odell Beckham Jr. However, the season didn't go the way we expected in terms of production from Kenny Golladay, and I'm sure it was frustrating for him as well. We even saw that frustration materialize on the field, or on the sideline, in the season when we saw Golladay seeming to go off on Jason Garrett during a game due to his underutilization and him mainly being used as a decoy on offense throughout the season. Looking at Kenny Galladay's 2021 season with the Giants, it did leave a lot to be desired, as he finished with only 521 yards and no touchdown catches. A lot of this had to do with Jason Garrett's prehistoric scheme and the offensive line's inability to give Daniel Jones time to throw the ball down the field. His production was even further hindered when Daniel Jones went down for a portion of the season, forcing the Giants to go with Mike Glennon, aka another horrible gentleman signing. Despite the disappointing year from Golladay, there are still a lot of reasons to be optimistic about this upcoming year for the 2019 Pro Bowler. Golladay is an excellent contested catcher with a great catch radius, measuring at 6'4", with enough speed to give deep safeties reasons to keep track of him on the field. His success in Detroit came with him being a physical receiver, high pointing the ball, and coming down with difficult catches. Matthew Stafford was also not afraid to let it loose down the field, knowing he had Kenny Golladay to come up with the majority of those 50-50 balls. With the addition of Wan'Dale and Mike Kafka bringing some of their offensive expertise and experience with deep threats such as Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs, we can expect to see some similar play scheme for Kenny Galladay's strengths this upcoming season. Replicating his successful 2019 Pro Bowl season where he had over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns may be difficult, but that won't be because of the scheme this year. If anything, it will be because of the other weapons the Giants have on offense, which we'll continue to get to in this video. And honestly, a few touchdown catches from Kenny Golladay will already be a huge improvement over last season. Similar to Kenny Golladay, the 2021 first-round draft pick of the Giants, Cadarius Toney, was held without a touchdown this past season for similar reasons, but the main reason being health. While it was obvious early on Toney was still getting his NFL legs under him and understanding the game, Cadarius missed 7 games last season and was hampered with different injuries throughout the season. Despite the setbacks, it was obvious to Giants fans and NFL fans that Cadarius Toney was a very talented player after his outings against the Saints and Cowboys respectively. In the Giants' first win of the season last year against New Orleans, fans got to see one of the most electric players in action as he recorded 78 yards on 6 catches and some memorable missed tackles. The very next week, he built on that performance by having the best game by any Giants offensive skill player last season by bringing in 10 catches and almost eclipsing 200 receiving yards. Icing on the cake was that he was even able to best Trayvon Diggs on a few occasions and continue to show his explosiveness in open field with his ability to make so many defenders miss. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see too much more of this after the Dallas game because Toney only appeared in 5 out of the next 12 games to end the season due to injury. There were rumblings this offseason that Cadarius Toney may be traded or was at least being shopped. Those rumors were quickly shut down after this amazing soundbite from Joe Schoen.
You shut the door on trying to trade him?
We were not shopping Cadarius Toney.
You're not gonna trade him.
reflect on what I just said.
After having some minor knee surgery this offseason, Cadarius has been present during OTAs, and the coaching staff has had nothing but positive things to say about Toney's attitude and work ethic so far this offseason. If he can stay healthy this season, there's no reason Cadarius Toney can't be a true difference maker and give Daniel Jones another weapon to make electric plays when you need them. He's definitely talented enough to warrant Pro Bowl consideration if the production is there, if the regime can find ways to give him touches in a variety of ways, which I think they will. I spoke briefly about the Giants' second round pick this year, Wandel Robinson, in one of my previous videos where I reviewed the Giants' 2022 draft class and how him getting picked in the second round was met with mixed reviews from some Giants fans. People were saying he was a Cadarius Toney clone and even thought it gave more legitimacy to the rumors of Toney being traded. I didn't see it that way. The new Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka came from an offense where there was no shortage of playmakers for the Chiefs, and having more depth is never a bad thing, especially when the Giants have been one of the more injury-riddled teams this past few years. Robinson does many things well. He's a speedster and also has made a lot of tough catches during his time at Kentucky. He's also a versatile playmaker, as he had experience playing running back and getting a lot of touches coming out of the backfield while he was still at Nebraska. While he's viewed as an undersized receiver at 5'8", the film shows that he makes plays as if he was a 6-foot receiver, and the plays he made were huge. One thing he may need to improve on is his route running in his first year, but I don't see that as a big issue since Robinson won't be needed to run every single route in the tree. The offense is going to put these guys in the best positions to succeed based on their strengths, and Robinson is going to be comfortable making plays while he learns how to be an NFL receiver. Robinson should be a decent contributor for the Giants in the passing game, and he's even been working on returning kicks during OTAs. The ceiling for his rookie season could be even higher if the Giants have injuries to wide receivers or running back, since he can excel anywhere on the offense. Wandel Robinson should be a good player for the Giants, and I hope he proves a lot of doubters wrong. People forget Darius Slayton had a pretty awesome rookie season and is one of Daniel Jones' favorite targets. The 2019 5th round pick ended his rookie campaign with 8 touchdown catches, which was the most by any rookie that season, beating out guys like Hunter Renfrow and Terry McLaurin in that category. The knock on Slayton these past 2 seasons has been his issue with drops, especially this past season, as he has been a very sure-handed receiver with his catch percentage dropping each season. I unfortunately can't blame the scheme for him not catching the ball, so that's something Slayton will definitely need to clean up if he wants to have a future with the Giants past this season. Despite that, the fact that we are putting so much pressure on a former 5th round pick only speaks to the talent and potential fans see in Darius Slayton. This is a guy that ran a 4.3 40 at the combine, so he can still take the top off the defenses. He also has decent size at 6'1" and has been an improved route runner since coming into the league. While there were rumors Darius Slayton could be traded this offseason, reports out of OTAs have been mostly positive, with him and Daniel Jones connecting often. Slayton also has the added benefit of new play callers that would give him more opportunities to come down with big yardage catches, and I wouldn't be surprised if his average yards per catch is higher than 10 yards this season. Again, he'll definitely need to put in the work with catching and his focus this offseason, but Darius Slayton is a good receiver who should definitely see more big plays going his way this season. Last but certainly not least is the longest tenured Giant and fan favorite Sterling Shepard. Giants fans love Sterling Shepard, and he truly has emerged as a leader for this receiving group. While he hasn't eclipsed 1,000 yards since entering the NFL, Shep has always been a sure-handed receiver and a great option on 3rd down for the Giants. Like many of the other players on this team, the main concern for Sterling Shepard has been health. He's only played in 2 full seasons since entering the league in 2016 and has had a serious injury each of the last 3 seasons. It was great to see him come back with the Giants on a restructure so we don't have to move on from an experienced offensive player, and this also gave the Giants some flexibility in the coming years. Sterling Shepard can play every receiver position, but does his best work out in the slot. This upcoming season, he may not see a high volume of those snaps at the slot due to Cadarius Toney and Wandel Robinson possibly playing that position, but he's still going to be a security blanket for Daniel Jones no matter where he plays on the field. Out of all the receivers on this team, the lack of offensive production is never more apparent than when Sterling Shepard isn't on the field. While this new offense is getting acclimated, there will be no receiver more important than Sterling Shepard to keep this offense on the field on 3rd down and provide consistent production if he's able to stay healthy. A big if, but no doubt Sterling Shepard is a stud and a very underrated receiver when he's on the field. The depth that the Giants have going into this 2022 NFL season is largely overlooked by a lot of NFL fans and even some Giants fans. From top to bottom, there's few other teams that have 5 different guys at receiver that you can look at and say you're comfortable with the coaching staff scheming up plays for them. This is probably the most underrated wide receiving group in the entire NFL based on talent alone, and they're much better than you think. We have a new scheme, new play callers, and a revamped O-line to give Daniel Jones more time so these receivers can run more routes effectively and actually have some time to make breaks and make some good catches. The biggest thing that can hold this group back from their success is, of course, injuries. If we can avoid injuries, this group can be so good for the Giants this season and maybe even years to come. I think that's a good thing to say for the entire team. We just gotta stay healthy. We just got to stay healthy. With the talent at wide receiver that the Giants do have, there's no reason some of these guys can't have some of their best seasons yet with the Giants, and for Daniel Jones to have a career year and prove he deserves to be the franchise quarterback for this team. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you think of the receiving group and how it compares to other receiving cores in the league. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Giants and NFL content as we're on the road to 200 subscribers, and your support would be definitely appreciated as we head into training camp and the beginning of the season. Until next time, it's been your boy Ty Life Man. Deuces.